Do you know what today is? Yeah, it's Tuesday, but I'm not talking about that. What's today observed as by the United Nations? That's right, it's World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. Why should you care? Unless you intend to die young or you don't care about your grandmother or grandfather, elder abuse is an unfortunately common practice that we should all want to see end. Elders are teased, scammed, neglected, or denied access to what's rightfully theirs. Let's endeavor to treat our elders the way we want to be treated, equally and fairly. We explore that and more between the pages. I'm Adrian Atkinson, your guide for today's show. Stay with us.
Tip number 1. Keep your regular medication and other supplies well stocked. Ensure there is access to several weeks of medications and supplies in case there is a need for you to stay home. Monitor food and other medical supplies needed and create a plan in the event that such resources become depleted. Tip number 2. Stay sanitized. Tip number 3. Respond to multi-generational living situations. Many older adults live in homes where other members, such as children, may have frequent colds. Therefore, do not share personal items like food, water bottles, and utensils. If possible, choose a room in your home that can be used to separate sick household members from those who are healthy. Tip number 4. Develop intentional caregiver plans. Older adults may be caregivers or may receive care themselves. Caregivers and care recipients should discuss their preparation plans, including how to stay in touch via phone or email. Determine who can provide you with care if your caregiver gets sick. And tip number 5. Keep abreast of essential up-to-date information. That means you should find and regularly check a trusted information source.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, June 15. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is reporting that 11,423 Jamaicans across the island received vaccines during the two-day blitz operation held on the weekend. Of that number, 10,608 were persons receiving their second dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine, while 815 persons received their first dose. While focus continues to be placed on priority groups, the ministry is especially urging persons who have received their first shot to make arrangements to get their second and final dose of the vaccine. Persons are not fully protected until they have received both doses of the vaccine. Those who are due a second dose and have not yet received a call from the Health Ministry are urged to contact the National Vaccination Hotline to make an appointment. In the meantime, the Ministry of Health has launched a COVID-19 vaccination ComCare software. It captures demographics and basic health information of the over 160,000 Jamaicans who have already been inoculated. This allows the ministry to keep abreast of the island's vaccination program.
What this allows you to do is to immediately make decisions, informed decisions. And I think that is a real big achievement for us going forward. So we have several data points at our disposal, which the Ministry of Health and Wellness is able to analyze, including data by parish, by region, doses, vaccination sites, time frame comparisons, and more.
The Health Minister was speaking at Monday's virtual launch of the software, which has already been introduced at hospitals, health centers, and special vaccination sites. The COVID-19 vaccination ComCare software was purchased by the United Nations Children's Fund with training sponsored by the Private Sector Vaccination Initiative. So far, 150 health workers have been trained in the use of the software and have gone on to train over 1,000 of their colleagues. In other news, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says government is making strides in securing the full restart of the economy. This, he says, is being done by the careful and strategic reopening of certain sectors. Included in the plans are the events and entertainment, tourism, quick services, and small business sectors.
Very soon, we should be able to return our economy to as close to normalcy as we can. It doesn't mean that we abandon our COVID management measures, but it means that in the true sense of it, we will have to learn how to live with the virus.
Prime Minister Holness was speaking at Friday's official opening of Computer Consultants, an electronics and photography company. Students are being encouraged to participate in the Ministry of Education's summer school program. The call comes from Portfolio Minister Favour Williams, who says the summer school program will be unveiled this week. Minister Williams says the initiative, which will be staged under the theme Recovering Smarter, will be a voluntary one. It's aimed at stemming the learning loss students experience from not being in face-to-face classes or due to internet connectivity issues.
We're encouraging our students, yes, we know, and parents, we know you've been living through the pandemic and we know the hardship and so on, but we have to make all the preparations and we have to ensure that your education is still accessible, regardless of whether it's summer, regardless of whether it's night or day, and we have the technology. We can scale it up across the system and we have a responsibility to do so.
The local government ministry will be working with the Portland Health Authority to remove non-critical patients from hospitals into the infirmary to free up needed bed space. Local government minister Desmond McKenzie says the soon-to-be-completed Portland Infirmary will house some of these hospital patients who have nowhere else to go. The infirmary, which consists of a male and female ward, is scheduled for completion within a few weeks. Minister McKenzie says the facility is not accepting any new residents and has a waiting list of 13 persons.
Overall, we continue to provide the service, not just for those who live within the infirmaries, but for our registered poor and for those persons who continue to reside on the streets across the country.
Mr. McKenzie made the statements following a tour of the facility on Friday. The new Portland Infirmary is being built at a cost of $85 million with partial funding from the National Housing Trust. And finally, about 2,000 persons from across the globe are expected to participate in the upcoming virtual Jamaica Diaspora Sustainability Symposium. State Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Leslie Campbell, gave that update during a recent JIS think tank. It was previously announced that the two-day symposium will replace this year's staging of the 9th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference. The regular conference will be staged next year to coincide with the island's 60th anniversary of independence celebrations. The virtual symposium will be held on June 16 and 17 under the theme Jamaica and the Diaspora, Stronger Together for a Sustainable Future. It will feature panel discussions and presentations on health and wellness and education. There will also be a youth forum, the Governor General's Awards, and a Prime Ministerial virtual town hall meeting.
We hope that we'll get sufficient numbers so that we will be able to communicate effectively with the diaspora, because this really is part of our engagement and which will prepare us for what we believe would be a significant conference in 2022.
And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
I'm deeply concerned by the number of Jamaicans killed on our roads. Safety on our roads is our responsibility. Jamaicans, drivers, passengers, motorcyclists, and pedestrians, slow down. Observe the rules of the road. Be courteous. Drive defensively. Be considerate. Buckle up. Wear a helmet. The careless overtaker is only rushing to the undertaker. Not observing the rules of the road could cost you your life and that of your loved ones. I encourage all road users to take special care as we use public thoroughfares. The life you save may be your own. Remember, your family wants you to arrive alive.
Coming up, the latest happenings out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Prime Minister champions Sustainable Development Goals, lauds Jamaica National Service Corps program, and targets September resumption of face-to-face classes. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Anthony Morgan. At the beginning of last week, Prime Minister Andrew Holness participated in the virtual summit Partnering for Green Growth and the Global Goals 2030. Dubbed P4G, the summit was held in Seoul, Korea under the theme Inclusive Green Recovery Towards Carbon Neutrality. Mr. Holness used the forum to call on the international community to assist small island developing states recovering from COVID-19 by bridging the gaps in the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals and the climate change agenda.
We also call on the international community to ensure that there is equitable global access to COVID-19 vaccines, that financial resources for climate action be scaled up and access simplified, that new categories are established for access to concessional and non-concessional development finance based on vulnerability measures rather than per capita income.
Mr. Holness also urged world leaders to consider the deployment of more resources for adaptation initiatives. Access to technology for research and development, digitization, modernization, and early warning systems were also championed by the Prime Minister.
Today, we have a unique opportunity to generate an inclusive, resilient, and green recovery that ensures a broad and lasting rise in prosperity, especially for the poorest, most marginalized, highly indebted, and vulnerable. It is an opportunity we cannot afford to miss.
On Wednesday, Prime Minister Holness joined a virtual panel discussion in observation of World Oceans Day. During the summit, Mr. Holness reiterated the government's commitment to protecting the environment. This, he says, is being done through the continuous strengthening of comprehensive and sustainable environmental policies.
We have finalized several key national environmental policies, including, for example, a climate change policy framework, a forest policy, a water sector policy and action plan, an ocean and coastal zone management policy, and a national policy on environmental management systems.
Mr. Holness says work is also being done on policies related to hazardous waste, wildlife trade, biosafety, watershed management, protected areas, beach access and emissions. In addition to the passage of a new Fisheries Act, Prime Minister Holness says that the island is amending the National Resources Conservation Authority Act to include stiffer fines for breaches. Earlier in the week, Mr. Holness reiterated government's commitment to providing opportunities for young people to reach their full potential. He made the pledge at the recent passing out parade for 235 Jamaica National Service Corps JNSC recruits. The recruits, including 50 females, transitioned to the regular ranks of the Jamaica Defence Force after a year-long training course. Prime Minister Holness says investment in the JNSC is critical to the assurance of defence and security in building a strong economic future.
Unfortunately, too many of our young people continue to find themselves as part of the problem. Our nation's youth are the future of our country. If we are to reduce the high levels of crime and violence in Jamaica, we must productively and positively engage our youth so that they do not become targets for recruitment by gangs or fall prone to other types of criminal activities.
Thursday saw the Prime Minister addressing the official opening of electronics and photography company Computer Consultants. He says the investment is a positive sign that the economy is rebounding from the coronavirus pandemic. Mr. Holness also reiterated the state's commitment to returning the economy to normalcy.
It doesn't mean that we abandon our COVID management measures, but it means that in the true sense of it, we will have to learn how to live with the virus. We want you to survive COVID and still have your job. We want you to survive COVID and still be educated.
That was the appeal from Prime Minister Andrew Holness as he addressed education stakeholders at a virtual sensitization town hall on Friday. Mr. Holness says government is targeting the return of full face-to-face learning in September. Prime Minister Holness says the resumption will be dependent on the behavior of education stakeholders. He's calling on parents and teachers, especially those in the priority groups and those with comorbidities, to get vaccinated. Mr. Holness is also reassuring students sitting exit exams that adjustments have been made to make the tests fair.
Do the best you can. We understand, and we're going to put in place the measures to support you, not just up to the exam, but even after the exams, to ensure that you are not at a disadvantage as you progress through your education journey.
And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Informing.
Jamaica today confirmed its first imported case of coronavirus.
Educating.
If you follow the recommended procedures, it is highly likely that you will not get the disease.
Going beyond to keep you informed and connected.
Welcome together, Fat.
Even through the pandemic. Helping you stay safe while we protect ourselves. Dependable. Impactful. Accurate.
This is your JIS News.
Credible. Trustworthy. Every day, everywhere. Serving our customers proudly.
Yo, this is We're committed to reducing the impact of disasters occurring in Jamaica. We're ever ready to assist you before, during and after a disaster. But everybody have a role to play, so make we work together and follow the plan. Whether rich or poor or where you come from, hurricanes affect everyone, so be prepared. Prevention is better than cure. Be prepared. Listen to ADPEM. A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
Weather experts are projecting that the hurricane season, June 1 to November 30, will be an active period. We can't control nature, but certainly our actions. So the best you can do is prepare. Government has instructed all disaster-related agencies to prepare for the worst. Let's see those plans.
For the 2021 season, we could have anywhere between our best case scenario and our worst case scenario. In the best case, we are expecting to see at least 13. We expect to see about 13 tropical storms, of these 6 becoming hurricanes and 3 of them being major hurricanes. But the worst case, what we are seeing now, which of course could be adjusted as we move to the center or the middle of the hurricane season, this worst case is saying we could actually have 20 tropical storms. We could have 10 of these becoming hurricanes, and of these 10, 5 of these could be major hurricanes.
This is our second hurricane season in the midst of a pandemic. Indeed, these are trying times. The concurrent health and weather events put our emergency systems and response readiness to the test. The government applauds our frontline workers and emergency management personnel for their hard work during this most challenging circumstance. Like we have done successfully in the past year, our strategy must be to anticipate, plan, and prepare for the threat, not to panic if or when it materializes. I appeal to you, the members of the public. Disasters will happen. You should get prepared.
The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management are working closely with the municipal corporations and the various stakeholders that we are in a state of readiness. We are almost 100% ready in terms of our shelters. There are 867 shelters island-wide, and we have done assessment on almost 90% of shelters across the island. The question has been raised about isolations in regards to COVID-19. All our shelters are equipped with isolation areas so that persons, if they come down with COVID, will be relocated to these shelters. We are making preparations in terms of relief supplies. The ODPEM is in a position to provide relief supplies. It will be concentrating our efforts on a very comprehensive public relations program by having virtual town hall meetings across the country. Jamaica Fire Brigade and all our first responders is in a state of readiness.
Throughout this program, the ODPEM seeks to ensure a constant stream of emergency supplies, inclusive of relief items, emergency response supply items. These readily available response to emergencies and disasters such as flooding and earthquake.
The cleaning of the country's priority drain infrastructure is another area of critical focus, and I am aware that the NWA has already started its mitigation mobilization.
We have taken measures in the health sector to ensure that should we need to respond to an adverse weather event, we are better able to because of what we've gone through over the last year and change. The Emergency Operations Center is significantly upgraded so that we can coordinate what we need to do. We understand the importance of our health facilities, and so we have taken measures to ensure that if something should happen, we are better able to withstand adverse weather events.
These are no longer normal times. The island remains vulnerable, however, to tropical cyclone strikes, so preparation is essential.
There's so much that we can do, but most importantly, it starts with ourselves, individually preparing.
Practice good hygiene by washing your hands frequently using soap and water. Here's how you should do it while conserving water. Turn on the tap to wet your hands, then turn off the pipe. Lather your hands and the tap with soap. Turn on the tap and wash your hands, back, front, and in between fingers. Use some of the water to wash off the tap, then turn it off. Dry your hands with disposable hand towels. If you don't have running water, use a hand rub containing 62% or more alcohol. If hand sanitizers are not available, rubbing alcohol, Dettol, white rum, or household bleach will do the trick. And if all else fails, let hand washing and the handling of potable water be a two-person event. Each person will take turns pouring and washing hands with sitting water. Now is a good time to consider installing a tap on your containers to reduce the risk of water contamination. Faucets can be easily attached to drums, buckets, or 5-gallon water bottles. And to ensure that the outside of the containers are clean when recapping, disinfect it with hand rub containing alcohol that's 62% or more. The 5 R's of water conservation are also necessary to practice. Reduce water wastage by investing in water-saving devices. Reuse water at least twice before discarding. Replace leaking pipes, faucets, and other plumbing equipment. Recycle wastewater and use it for gardening, car washing, or cleaning of public spaces. And reclaim water through rainwater harvesting. We all must play our part to ensure there's water to combat the coronavirus and stave off prolonged drought.
It's a new beginning. New day is dawning. It's time to arise. We are the gene of achievement and pride.
A bold new beginning, time for action. We have the spirit to fight on.
This is Jamaica, this is our land. We have our future with God in our plan. We'll play our part building this great nation. This is Jamaica, this is our land.
Let us make every effort to forge unity and resolve to work hard for our prosperity.
Leaving our children a legacy of hope, breaking the shackles and smashing the old. This is Jamaica, this is our land. This is our we have our future with God in our plan. We'll play our part building this great nation. This is Jamaica, this
Let me hear the children say,
this is Jamaica, this is our land. We have a future with God in our plan. We'll play our part building this great nation. This is Jamaica. Come on, everybody, let's sing. This is Jamaica, this is our land. We have our future with God in our plan. We'll play our part building this great nation. This is Jamaica, this is our land.
Jamaica, together we can.
You've reached the final page of the magazine. Thanks so much for being with us on today's journey. Another Jamaica Magazine unfolds tomorrow, so come back same time on this same station. Until then, go to our website, YouTube channel, and social media pages for more informative features. While there, please subscribe to our pages and channels so you can stay in the know. I'm Adrian Atkinson, reminding you to take care of our elders.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.